Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CSTV. I'm your host, Kathleen Egaltoto, Madam CS, and this is The Striker. Stay tuned and have it true and real. The Striker today focuses on the recent released report on teenage pregnancies in the country, with grandfathers and dads being the leading in sexual abuse and molestation of school-going children. The question is, who has failed the Kenyan girl child? Stay tuned and let's have this discussion one-on-one. Kindly remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment on this video. Welcome back. Recent reports in Kenya reveals that the fathers and grandfathers are the leading individuals when it comes to rape and sexual assault or sexual abuse of teenagers in the country. You know, for a long time, we have always taken rapists and sexual assaulters as people who are not close to us. But as time moves by, more and more cases of young girls being sexually violated to the extent of impregnation, transmission of diseases, etc., has been revealed to happen from either their dads, their grandfathers, or their uncles, Now, it raises several questions, honestly, on what is happening in the country and why these cases right now are coming out right now, and how many more are actually suffering within and they are not coming out to do what? To talk. So in today's discussion, we are looking at who has actually failed or what has actually failed the Kenyan teenage girl in as much as protection from sexual abuse by those around her are concerned. Now, when we get a report that the grandfathers and the fathers are the leading in sexual molestation of young girls, it tells you that the family fabric in the country is such a toxic, disintegrated, and highly secretive one. And I want to say that, long are gone those days that people used to say that I'm safe at home. For the Kenyan girl child right now, I don't think that they would be comfortable to say I'm safe at home when actually the same home harbors people who actually intend or have sexually violated them. And these issues all happens and are left untackled because of so many things. Number one, we live in a society where cultures dictate that the elders are always right. If a young child, if a teenager and an elderly person have a conflict, or if a teenager has a case against an elderly person, 90% chances are that the elderly person will be listened to and the teenager will be termed as a liar, disrespectful, and one with false accusations. So we live in a society where culturally we have this stereotype that the elders are always wise and the elders can never harm children. This is why most girls who are sexually violated by their grandfathers actually may not come out to say. And when they come out to say, they are silenced because grandfathers are highly respected. Look at your traditional setup in your local culture, in your local ethnicity. You will realize that Guka, Babu, they are highly respected. They are seen to be the mediators of even conflict in the society. But what has the society failed to realize? That even fools, even rapists, even thieves, even witches grow old. So we just try to imagine that the old are always protective, the old are always child-loving, and we forget that not every old person has that respect for kids. That's one thing. We also live in a society where we look at parents as always having the best interests of children at heart. We don't imagine a parent harming their own children. We don't imagine that. If a child came out to talk about abuse from the parents, we just start saying that the 1990 generation, this generation of children who actually don't have respect for their parents. So we have already put a stumbling block that these girls, even if they are sexually molested by their fathers, they cannot come out to talk, because who will even listen to them? Some will say that this girl is full of adolescence. She just wants to use this so that she can run away from home, so that she doesn't go to school. All those excuses. So you realize that the cultural stereotypes that we have carried in terms of parenthood and in terms of elderly people is actually what has contributed also towards young girls being sexually predated on, and they cannot come out to say, because the cultural stereotypes are already concealing and protecting the sexual perpetrators, the sexual assaulters and the perpetrators. Sometimes the people at home, even our own mothers, have not created that environment where they can have a one-on-one conversation with their daughters concerning these assaults. In the traditional African setup, and even in the current society, the way it is like discussions about sexual issues are forbidden. Like talking about sex, it's seen as a very big abomination. And because of this, parents honestly do not have that space, especially majority of them who are in the rural and the old school parents. They don't have space, and they have not created that environment where their children can feel free to speak about these things. Our own mothers tend to imagine that the moment we start talking about sex, we are spoiled. It's only in our societies where we expect even girls to learn on how to take care of their wives their husbands when they grow up, but we don't want to talk about it when they are still living with us. We want to imagine our girls are virgins so long as they live in our compound, etc., until they go to see their husband. Even we don't even create that environment where a girl can bring the boyfriend at home and introduce to him, like, to you that, Baba, Mama, this is my boyfriend, I want to get married to this guy. Somebody has to think, how am I going to tell my parents that I'm getting married? Because we have seen sexual discussions as perversions, abominations, sin, things that should not be discussed with parents. I've listened to some of the stories from Lynn Ngugis and the Tuko News and Tuko Talks, where survivors of this abuse have come to talk out. And you realize that, to speak out, and sometimes you realize that a girl was sexually assaulted and reported to the mother. Instead of the mother or of the mom actually finding a solution or trying to find out how he can help this lady and also bring this to an end, the mom turns against the girl. Some are sent away from home. The mother tells you that you are not going to destroy my marriage. I'm like, this is a victim of sexual abuse. So you send away the victim, you remain with the perpetrator simply because you want to safeguard your marriage. You are married with a rapist. You are married with a man who practices incest on your daughter. Come on, why does this happen? So many girls have been sexually abused by parents, but these stories don't come out because this girl is silenced. They say, let's have an in-family solution. So the in-family solution silences everything. This girl doesn't even get the help, the psychological counseling needed. This girl doesn't get even the HIV prevention drugs, etc. So you realize somebody has been raped, perhaps impregnated and has a disease. But the in-house meeting that was meant to safeguard the family name is put in front, like takes precedency over the welfare of this young girl. So before you know, this girl is pregnant, and the family now is seeing her as a burden. The mother sees her as a burden. The father sees her as a burden. But it's not her mistake. She's just a victim of sexual violence. And because you wanted to safeguard the family name, she couldn't come out and talk. It has become so bad that even now mothers are living with their daughters in the same house, sharing the same husband. And they see that one is like, it is okay. And you see that one is a norm. Like, you as a mother, you rather stay there and safeguard your marriage, but you cannot move out and you cannot take any action against this man because he's the father to your children. That's a monster you are actually protecting in the name of a husband. That's a monster you are protecting in the name of a dad, in the name of a father-in-law, in the name of an uncle. You know. And you know, these things happen in so many ways. Biological dads can sexually molest their own children. Some start this as early as when these children, their daughters, are few months old. These are the same fathers who finger their children so badly. So you keep on taking your child to hospital, but the perpetrator is in the house, you know. It does happen. Some are so addicted to to child pornography that they cannot even differentiate between their own children and what they see in the screens. So you run away sometimes silently and you don't want to report this man because you think it's a shame, you know. Some are stepdaughters, and these ones are fallen victim of sexual violence from their dads and their grandfathers more than another child in this country. As a mother, when you give birth to a child out of wedlock and get married to a different man, when you enter into a new relationship, and in that new marriage you go with girl children, what do you do to protect them? Because many husbands and many men who marry women who have children have ended up violating these children. Either they have successfully violated them or have made an attempt to violate them. And if it's not these men, the uncles, the brothers to these men in that family have either violated these children or have made an attempt to violate them. Because we normally believe that children born out of wedlock, they don't belong. It's not your blood. So you want to use them the way you want. I wish children opened up and they were given space to speak about their experiences in foster families, and you will see how many are even committing suicide. And then we say that she just died, she just committed suicide, she had a very small quarrel with the mother and committed suicide, she had a very small quarrel with the father and committed suicide. It's not the small quarrels that causes these things. A child is sexually violated by a stepdad. He tells the mother turns against the child because according to the mother, the husband is more important than this child. So what do you want that lady to do? You take a child to a new home. These are not his relatives, her relatives at all. You leave her there. You know, sometimes some ladies run away when the marriage becomes sour. They run away and they leave the children, the girl children behind. What do you expect? And sometimes the children you are leaving behind were not even born in that family. What do you expect? So what I'm trying to say here is that we have exposed our girl children so much to sexual assault because of the stereotypes that we have in the society concerning the elderly, concerning the parents, and concerning sex. Yeah. The day we will start listening to these children when they are raising an issue, that is the day we will help solve these sexual assault things. And there's also another part of ignorance and irresponsible parenthood. I'm calling it irresponsible parenthood because some of these girls, not everybody, yes, is forced into this sexual act, but circumstances surrounding these girls forces them or makes them easier predators to this sexual assault by their relatives and the men around them. You are a parent. You have a girl child. When was the last time you bought your girl child a panty? A teenager. When was the last time you bought her sanitary pads? When was the last time did you buy her bra? You know, we have parents, honestly, back at home who do not know that it has reached an age where this child needs sanitary pads, needs panties, needs bras. No, for them they don't. Like, you just raise a girl child just like a boy. And you know they need all these things. So when you see your child using a certain pad, which you did not buy, where did you know that? Where did you expect them to get that money? Where? So because you are not providing those things, and this child maybe goes to school, the rest have, it is her monthly period, she's in her menstruation cycle, and somebody is offering to give her 100 bob to buy those things, what will she do? She will give in. And they will give in because the pressure is too much. They will give in, and in the process of giving in, they end up ruining their lives. Then as a father or as a mother, you come out to say, no, these children are spoiled. They are not spoiled. You created the environment that contributed to this child doing that which he or she wasn't supposed to do, that which she wasn't supposed to do. We have many girls outside there who will tell you that the first time they ever had a sanitary pad was when they were in college. Yet they started menstruating in class 8, in Form 1. That their parents could never think of buying them those simple sanitary pads. Some will tell you that they don't remember their mothers buying them panties right from class 7. But still they have those panties. So where do you expect them to get them? Where? Dear parents outside there, we are creating an environment for sexual molestation of our own children. We create an environment that pushes these children and teenagers either to their predators, either to their predators, or we force them to do things that exposes them to these predators. The report that was released yesterday about teenage pregnancies in this country, high level of incest in this country, is not something that we should be happy about as a country. It is a wake-up call that should be able to factually reset our parental responsibilities as parents and stop talking about teachers in this sense. The sexual assaulters are within your families, your husbands, your father-in-laws, your mother-in-laws, your father-in-laws, your brother-in-laws. They are there. Mothers, please. The society ought right now to stop this nonsense that the elders are always right. Remember, even the fools grow old. The rapists grow old. Pedophiles grow old. So let's not create an environment that silences sexual assault in this country. Because you are silencing this child. She has HIV/AIDS. Where would you tell the world she got HIV/AIDS from? You are silencing this child. She's pregnant. She's giving to another child. So, how do you want that child to call your dad? Now, okay, it is a complicated web of relationships. Let's stop stereotypes, let's stop ignorance, and let's protect our children. Honestly, we need to create an environment where they can be able to speak out. You know, sometimes when you keep on saying that serikali inastahili saidie, there's no way the government will come to your village and find out who raped who if you don't report. If we are the people safeguarding and protecting the rapists because they are our family members and we don't want, the information to go outside there because we have to protect the family name, how will even the law come to get these people? But if you want a report and the law does nothing, then well and good. But when we have assaulters and rapists and sexual abusers of our teenage girls in the families and we are protecting them, let's not shout that serikali itusaidie. In fact, you should be the first people to be interrogated. In a family where a child has been raped, it is important that the parents are taken into account. Because you realize that sometimes this child is raped by maybe the uncle. The family keeps quiet. They take this child to the hospital and they say they don't know who raped the child. Sometimes these children, yes, are taken to the hospital, but they say they don't know who raped the child. Or it was late in the evening, so they can't tell who did this. We had sent her to pick something. We cannot tell. It's not like they don't know. They know. Sometimes the rapist is the one there explaining that this child has been raped. But they are just sugarcoating the entire thing to protect family name. These things have happened and they will continue happening unless we change our mentality. The stereotypes that makes teenagers all the time the problem in the society has to be done away with. And to the government agencies, when a rapist has been arrested, what is the essence of returning that sexual assaulter back to the society? Why are you returning? Why are rapists being pailed out? Why do you issue ponds to rapists? Why do you issue pails to sexual assaulters? Why are you releasing them to the society? We don't want them here. Let them stay there. If there's no death sentence for rapists in this society, then let them have a life sentence in those courts and in those prisons. Otherwise, let's be very careful. And to the teenage girls, don't keep quiet. Don't have conditioned compliance. Nobody should tell you that you keep quiet because you are safeguarding a family name. Shout. Speak out. If somebody attempts to sexually abuse you, or if somebody manages to sexually abuse you, say it. Come out. Tell everybody. Talk it out. Because that's the only way you can be helped. Don't keep quiet in the name that you are safeguarding the family name. It doesn't matter who is breeding with you to keep quiet. They are saving their family names, but they are not saving your life. So put yourself first and speak out. Say no to violence. Say no to sexual abuse and speak out to get help. Stay tuned. Let me have your opinions concerning this, and let's meet next time as we have these discussions, real and raw.